Welcome to another Coinomi Connect AMA. Today we're celebrating with LuckyCoin and diving into everything crypto. This conversation was recorded live on X Spaces on July 1st, 2025. Please note, the views and opinions expressed in this AMA do not necessarily represent those of Coinomi Wallet and should not be considered financial advice. Always do your own research on the projects discussed. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel. Now, let's get started. Enjoy.
Hello, hello. Currently waiting for a few more people to join in, and we will get started. So excited to see Lucky Coin and Michelle and some familiar faces in the chat. Looking forward to a fantastic Connect with everyone. Let's give it a few more minutes for people to join in, and we'll get started. All right, it is 6:03 here in Central Eastern Time. I'm in France. We're going to invite some lovely hosts up here, including Michelle, who's going to be joining in, and a member of the Lucky Coin team. Lucky Coin, can you hear me loud and clear? Who do we have on the microphone today?
Hey, Koby, it's Dan here from the LuckyCoin team. It's a pleasure to be here and really looking forward to having a chat to you in the community.
Now, we try not to dox people and tell everyone where everyone's from. That's why I'm from a country now that is not where I usually am living. But where are you currently in the world, Dan?
Currently in Estonia, so Europe.
All right, I'm getting Michelle up here, who will be joining from another country yet to be named. She might say the one she's in, or maybe not, but it's a pleasure to have you, Dan, here from Estonia, representing the Lucky Coin project and team. We already have a few members of our community and from yours in the chat, and I'm really excited because today's July 1st, a new month, a new start to a partnership that is going to, I hope, redefine and set forward a lot of great things in both of our communities. So this X Space is really about a conversation regarding Koinami, Lucky Coin, how we're working together, how we plan on working together in the future, some alpha of what's coming up, maybe taking a few community questions or comments that come up on the space link here, and just talking about the future plans as crypto evolves so quickly, as these financial markets move and shake. And we have a player here that, while we might not have 10,000 people listening to a Mario non-fall space, I think that a lot of people will be listening in the next few days to this chat when they get it sent from their friends. And definitely in the future when they say, whoa, I maybe missed out on a really important space and discussion about where this space is headed, and an OG player like Lucky, an OG player like Koinami, getting into crypto early. So I want to start and go ahead by introduce myself. My name is Koby. I'm one of the founding members of the Koinami wallet team. They mostly got started in 2014 when one of our founders decided to create the only place you could store your Bitcoin, your Dogecoin, and your Litecoin in one environment. I got started when I downloaded it looking for a really good solution to how to safely store my coins, and I found Koinami. Later got involved working there, and it's almost been 10 years of keeping my assets safe and of working with an amazing group of people all around the globe, including Michelle, including team members that are listening in today, helping users keep their funds safe. And now what we'd like to do is try to see what solutions can we build that help bridge users to coins that they're interested in. So Lucky Coin has been an amazing partner, and I'll let them speak for themselves. But Dan, would you give an overview of where you're calling in, or of what you do on the team, and why you're behind the account today?
Yeah, most definitely. So I am the business development manager and also the partnership manager at LuckyCoin. We have a new CTO that's taken over in the last six or so months. And basically, yeah, we're looking to put LuckyCoin back on the map. I can give you a bit of an overview about Lucky if you'd like, and we can kind of like delve into that if that works with you, Kobe.
Let's take it from there.
Perfect. Because some of your team may not, or some of the community may not know about Lucky. We do have a big following. We launched in 2013, and that's why I really love the synergies with Coinomi. You guys, obviously, the inception of Coinomi was a year later, so it's really an OG meme coin for an OG wallet. And we're a proof of work cryptocurrency. In terms of the lineage aspect of things, we are a direct descendant of Bitcoin, which is a very, very good and unique narrative for us. So it goes Bitcoin, which then forked to Litecoin, which then forked to LuckyCoin, which then forked to Bells slash Dogecoin. So we're wedged directly in the middle. And there is some verifiable evidence to suggest on Bitcoin Talk Forum from a whole raft of different people that actually shows that Billy Marcus used some of the original coding in the Lucky when he was like developing Dogecoin. So that's all there on Bitcoin Talk Forum, which is fantastic. Lucky Coin is actually the 22nd cryptocurrency ever listed on CoinMarketCap. So it has a very unique place in history. And it lay dormant for a very, very long period of time. Lucky C itself, he was the founder We don't actually know if it was one person or it was a conglomerate of people, similar to the whole law that you see with Bitcoin and Satoshi. And anyways, Lucky C founded Lucky in 2013, so over 12 years ago. And he dropped, or she dropped off the map. And the chain kind of just was left alone for a while until roughly August 25th, 2024, where the previous CTO team and community members actually found the old coding. They brought the Lucky back to life, if you will, and you've got that continuous chain. So they basically kicked off from block 81,744. And then from there, we started mining to the current point in time. In terms of the actual like unique value proposition, what I love about LuckyCoin is it's known as kind of the first slash OG slash longest running meme coin. We are seen as like the grandfather of Doge, but I do think that we are our own entity onto itself, and we're trying to promote Lucky as a kind of a fun, fast, and fair way to hold your crypto or to have crypto. That was the original ethos that Lucky C created. So fast in the sense that block times are relatively fast, fun in the sense that there's randomness associated with mining. So you could get a payout of 2 times, 5 times, or 58 times, depending on if you hit it big. And fair is that we're not actually owned by any VCs. We're completely decentralized. We're pretty much the meme coin of Bitcoin, which when I first stumbled across Lucky, it kind of blew my mind in that sense. So um, very exclusive in that point of view. And then in terms of halving aspects, so many people probably would like to know a little bit about that. So that was changed when the new CTO did take the project on board. Originally, the halving was kind of in line with Bitcoin, but they've changed it to a more mimetic type of approach, so every 69 days. So that basically means that the halving is going at a rapid rate. So we're, I think, at the sixth epoch, or coming up to the sixth epoch, which basically means less Lucky coming onto the market. We can talk about that after, but that basically means more scarcity. And in terms of scarcity, basically there's only roughly ever 20 million Lucky that will exist. Now I say
Wow.
roughly or approximately. Yeah, it's very similar to Bitcoin in that sense. I say approximately in the sense that the miners will still have the chance to get that 2 times, 5 times, 58 time payout.
Hmm.
Um, but there is a large number of wallets that are actually dormant and/or blacklisted due to the replay attack that we can talk about later. And so that actually puts us at roughly less than 15 million Lucky that will ever exist. So it's kind of like the way I see it, anyways, it's like a store of value, but a meme coin store of value. Um,
A
and
meme
so, yeah,
coin stone of value. Well, listen, I really want to point the conversation to get to Michelle and
sure,
introduce
sure.
her as my kind of right hand man, woman, amazing all around great marketing guru. But I do want to ask you before we pivot over there, someone listening for the first time that maybe never got the opportunity to buy Bitcoin and maybe doesn't
Mhm.
even know that much about Bitcoin these days with so many different blockchains out there. Why would they really care, or why should they care that your team and your project has such an original Bitcoin ethos in what you've been building and what you're going to be building now?
I think it comes down to mass adoption. So, given that we have that direct lineage from Bitcoin, and obviously, like I said, we're wedged in between Dogecoin. It provides credibility onto itself. So every time you talk about Bitcoin, or every time you talk about Lucky, I should say, you're talking about Bitcoin and you're talking about Litecoin. So we're always going to have that history. And so the way that we see it as CTO, which we're just community members that are pulling together our skills, is that we're custodians of Lucky, and
Mm.
we want to put it back into place as the original OG meme coin that sits beside Bitcoin and Litecoin.
And Michelle, we'll get to you. I just want to ask another question. How do you
Yeah.
ensure that as you community members who are now kind of the team members and custodians, you call it, how do you ensure that you can come out swinging and kind of compete against teams that are backed by money or that are backed by kind of like an ideology of we're doing this to get rich quick, where for you the opportunity is way less huge than maybe if someone is just going to start a chain and say, well, we love Bitcoin, so we're starting a chain. You're really attaching yourself and the effort you're putting into a long legacy of LuckyCoin. How do you kind of compete against those people who are maybe new on the block, just bought a few Bitcoins last year, the year before? Well, I hope so, good for them. But how do you really contest with those guys out there?
That is a very, very good question. So we don't actually have like a large pool of funds because we are decentralized, but we're following a similar model as Bitcoin did. We're attracting developers, which we've got. We've got a great head developer who's working on some things behind the scenes. We're establishing partnerships with the likes of yourself. This has been a massive partnership for us to be able to finally safely store Lucky, and have that self-custodial model. And more importantly, or equally as importantly, I should say, Koby, we actually have some big players that are behind the scenes that saw the vision early on. So we're not going to name any names, but we do have some quality KOLs that are still holding, and we are working with them behind the scenes to grow Lucky. So I think we're pretty well positioned. You don't need the funds. This is not a pump and dump. This is a long term play for us, and to be honest, it's a passion, project for many of us. We really want this to remain for the next decade plus because I mean we think the space is
Mhm.
going to be around for many many years, so why can't Lucky Coin be around for many
Well,
many
I think you kind of just said it with the last thing you said, that it's about passion. When people are driven by just financial means or trying to get rich quick, they usually get poor fast because there's nothing really fiery behind them besides the idea of a paycheck or buyout. I know someone who's right here with us that's been doing things in crypto and hustling for, I think, all her life, not because of get rich quick, but kind of the passion to keep building, to keep doing things. And so I wanted to bring in Michelle here, who will introduce herself from the Koinami and Eucalyptus team, and maybe she can comment on the passion that she's had for crypto and how that's led her here.
Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in, everyone, and thanks so much, Dan from Lucky. We're so happy about the integration and all the community members that have been so flooding us with great reviews, and just happy to have a great place to store their Lucky for the long term. So I am CMO here at Coinomi Wallet, and I've been with the team since 2021, and I'm really happy to be helping bring in awesome projects like Lucky and more integrations and kind of help bring better infrastructure into users' hands. And so that brings me to actually touch on what you said earlier, Dan,
Well,
sorry.
let me
Yeah,
get ahead of you, Michelle. I want to ask you a question because,
yeah. Okay.
you're almost too I mean, your hours almost cost too much that we're trying to pay you. I know it may not be fair to try and get a consulting hour of you for now on this space, but I should ask, with your experience in marketing, with what you've been doing in crypto for kind of a long time, maybe longer than a lot of people have spent in this space, what is Lucky Coin doing right now? Like, oh, right now, what are they getting right? And where do they kind of have to point themselves if they're going to cut through the noise and get out there as a coin that has a lot of years of experience, a lot of years maybe of baggage, but is kind of with this renewed vision? What do they got to do right now?
You know what? I think it's important to just keep being transparent with the community as they're doing, and just keep encouraging them, getting them involved, and keep activating them. Keep doing, the partnerships that they're doing, like with Koinomi and other things they have in the works. And yeah, just doing what you're doing.
That's I think that's great advice, and that's something we're trying to prioritize now at Koinami. We have to focus on so many things. We know that we're missing coins. We know that our wallet looks like it was made in the 2010s, mostly because it was actually made in the 2010s. So we're focusing in all these directions. And sometimes you got a Steve Jobs who says, "I know what the user want," and sometimes you just are in a crypto project and you ask the community, "What do you guys want?" And one of the things they said was, we want you to integrate new blockchains that give people an opportunity to be early, not to be, the third year later into Aptos when you install them. And, there are Aptos wallets out there. There are lots of people that made money in Aptos. There are projects that will launch them later. But what we're trying to do is bring Konami users projects that are both exciting, that have a renewed vision, but also have some backing to them and aren't just going to disappear in a few years. So, Lucky Coin, we're going to bring it back to you. I wanted to hear what you think about Michelle's advice. Are you following it? Do you disagree? How are you kind of either staying transparent with the community and telling them exactly where you're going and what you're about to build? Or
Mhm.
are you keeping things behind the scenes and you're going to build what they want and what's lacking in the space and they just got to wait and follow to hear more?
Very good question, Koby. Let me just back it up a bit and just say we have been. It's been a pleasure to be able to liaise with you both Koby, Michelle, and several of the of the other Coinomi team members behind the scenes. Communication is very transparent, and that's how the new CTO at Lucky is. And we've really valued the partnership that we've established with you guys. We've taken quite a lot of notes in terms of what Michelle and also Barb's are doing from a marketing perspective, from Coinomi's perspective. You guys are pumping out some really good content, but it's meaningful content as well. I think that's really key. It's not just spamming the X timeline or the Twitter timeline or Telegram. People don't want that. People really want quality information that is actually going to be meaningful for them. And we really appreciate you guys taking a leap of faith with us. And we're just stoked to be a partner. In terms of the actual question that you asked, Koby, so from our perspective, we have a fair understanding that communities are key, right? So it's all about building people that are passionate. So I touched on that before. If you have passionate people and you have people that believe in something and have a strong vision of where something is going, and in our case, LuckyCoin being the OG meme coin, the longest OG meme coin, then you have people that are willing to work for free, essentially, because they're doing it because they're passionate, they have a strong vision, they have a purpose. It's very much in line with that, with Murad's principles, and that's why you see we've got Murad's metrics online when it comes to our community, when it comes to key statistics that we're monitoring. And from a marketing perspective, we've really done a great job, the new CTO, at being more transparent. Now, I should give the old CTO team kudos because they laid the foundations for basically getting the chain back up and going. There were some wonderful devs in that regard, and they got us some great exchanges, and we are still in contact with one or two, just at a distance. And so that allows us to basically be visible and present, and so for community members to actually access Lucky. But our job now is to be as transparent as possible and to bring skilled people on board that share our vision. And you saw that with the replay attack report that we recently released. For the community members that were here since November 2024, myself included, replay attack in 2025. And we acted quite swiftly. Some of the core community came together, myself included, and we were able to obviously access VeriChain's audit and completely patch up the chain so that no replay attack is going to occur in the future. But where I'm leading to that is that we recently released a report as of last week. There was a lot of work that went behind the scenes to actually identify the wallets that were involved in the replay attack, to blacklist those wallets, which actually increases the scarcity of Lucky. But what we want to do is just be as transparent as possible. As Michelle said, transparency is key, to the best of our ability, right? And so when it came to that replay attack, we know that was quite off-putting to a lot of people, but we see this as a blip in the road. And that replay attack report / remediation report is key to restoring that trust with the community. And from our perspective, and from obviously the devs that have been working behind the scenes, the chain is completely restored and will not be going
Right.
through another replay attack in the
Well,
future.
you're already doing something super different than a lot of crypto companies and projects we hear, which is that you're talking about a thing that happened, you're addressing it, you're saying how you reacted or responded in a good or bad way, and then it sounds like you're talking to the community about what you're going to do next and why you're doing it. So this is already, I think setting you apart from a lot of spaces and a lot of conversations where people don't talk about what went wrong. They just say, this something happened, but we're gonna get through it. So I think that's really big. Another question that I think I want to ask Michelle, especially with there being, like I said, so much noise, or actually, I guess we'll take it to you. You know, I'm so glad to hear you kind of talk about the liaisoning Michelle and I have done to our great developers who have been working on the integration. I'll let you gloat and brag about us more. What role is Koinami playing in Lucky Coin's broader adoption goals, or how you plan to get Lucky to the market? Clearly, being in a big wallet like ours, as we revamp and regrow, that's huge. You want to be on the exchanges, you want to be on the wallets, you want to be on New York City billboards. But does it affect anything that I might not think about that's in your strategy as you relaunch and kind of get the name out there?
I mean, you guys are a pivotal piece to what we're trying to do as a community. Um, the fact that we've got such a seamless, easy wallet that actually that Lucky Coin community can access is crucial. So if you hop over to the TG group chat, you can see that there's so many people that find the Coinomi wallet to be so simple, so easy to use. I can't speak highly enough for it. The communication has been fantastic, and you are such a fundamental building block for being able to store our Lucky coins safely. And that's really all our community ever wanted. So we've gone from a Google Chrome wallet extension to Coinomi, and yeah, we are incredibly stoked by this partnership. Cool. Koby, you there?
Oh, okay. You know
Yeah,
what? That's
gotcha.
funny. I started talking and I kind of mixed up my words, so I get another chance.
It's all
Excellent.
good.
Well, we all deserve a second or third chance in crypto, unless if your name is Sam Bankman-Fried. Luckily, I changed my haircut recently,
Yeah.
right before that. I think it's really important what you noted that our values kind of align. Getting started at the same time in crypto, if you get started in 2016, 17, you might have a really vested interest in ICOs and in kind of opening up investments for the populace, and you might still be working in a space like that and have found yourself at Circle, which just went live on the Nasdaq. If you worked in 2009 and 2010 on crypto on those anonymous forums, you kind of might be like one of our other founders who's a total crypto punk anarchist. I mean, you're either going to get Bitcoin to be the currency or watch the world burn. I won't say which side of that argument I'm on. So I think our values really align coming from 2013, 14, 15, which is one of the first places and times where people said, okay, look, we have cryptocurrencies. You can kind of manage them on your computer, but this is not going to move and go anywhere if we can't do things seamlessly on mobile, if we can't provide users, or rather people, a good experience. So that's something we wanted to provide. You guys clearly are carrying that same ethos through. And I'll be honest, that every 3 or 4 years, crypto does a cycle. I think every 9, 10, 11 years, these kind of sentimental things and these ideas of the next phase of adoption take a cycle. And I think we're going through one of those now, where we're saying, how can we make it easier for people to engage from across the world with crypto? And how can we once again get people who didn't get into Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche, whatever have you? How do we get people into a qualified community that has experience, that can provide value to their lives, and that's actually doing something that's creating some value? So I want to now bring it back to Michelle. Folks, this is actually the first space I've hosted either in many years or to my memory. So if I'm doing a good job, I want you to follow Koinami's account. I want you to follow the account of LuckyCoin. And I also want you to know that at Koinami, one of the things we're doing is trying to bring more users into our app and our ecosystem. And we could kind of go and spend money on Twitter marketing, or we could kind of, to pay someone to shill us. But we think it's a better idea to put money and to put physical goods right in your pocket. That's why we're going to be doing a giveaway on this space. There's only 20 or 30 people listening now, and I hope if you're listening in the future, this is a reminder to always tune in and set those notifications up. But we're going to be giving away some T-shirts. They'll come in your size. They'll come with a gorgeous logo. We don't just print the name of Koinami. We have some artists who are dedicated to really making some T-shirts shine, and you stand out in the crowd once your wallet turns into that 3 decimal number. So, Michelle, can you explain more about what we're going to be giving away and how people can get involved right now in this space?
Sure. So we're going to be giving out some Lucky Coin X Coinomi branded merch. And we would love for you guys to get your hands on them. All you need to do is make sure you have Coinomi wallet downloaded and leave a lovely uh, review on your favorite app store, Apple or Android. And make sure you use Lucky Coin in there so that we know that you were listening to the space. And you can post your review down in the space comments, and we'll be choosing the best
Oh,
ones.
I
Make sure
think
you don't.
actually, sorry, I think I
Yep.
have a note in my notes that we're going to change it up a little bit. So everyone had the task list. It was to download Koinami, or if you've got it already, you're ahead of the curve. You're quicker to the game. You want to have Koinami installed, and you want to be sending us your review that you've left about Lucky or about Koinami, however you leave it. I hope it's a 5 star to our account direct message. I think Michelle, will be doing this through account message. Or am I wrong?
Let's do it through DMs. So drop us a DM that you finished the review, send a screenshot, and we'll let you know if you're the winner of a coveted Lucky Coin X Coinomi t-shirt. We're going to be
Now,
giving away 10 of them.
so we're giving away 10 t-shirts. First off, that's kind of a lot of t-shirts, and your odds to win are pretty good. I try not to gamble or bet too much in the crypto markets. I aggregate and DCA over time. But I would make a gamble here by downloading Koinami or leaving the review on the app you already know and love, and sending it through to our DMs. One more thing is that as we do more competitions and Koinami rewards, staying in touch through those DMs is a place where you can ask a question, get in touch with me or any of the members of the team, and also be considered for future campaigns that we're doing giveaways. So send that through our DMs. And now at 6:27, we're gonna get back into the space and talk more about Lucky. So Lucky Coin. Dan, I want to learn more about what you guys have planned in the next 6 to 12 months. Sometimes that's a really big timeline, so I'll let you take it at your own pace and just tell us what should people be excited that's coming up with LuckyCoin right now, and what are you, hold up, let's take this a step back. What are you personally excited to be working on right now at LuckyCoin? I mean, I know there's so many things happening at once to build out a big roadmap, but what are you doing today, either by being on this space or something you did yesterday or the next weeks? What are you up to that you're excited about?
Yeah, really good question. There's a lot of different things that we're excited about as a community, and I think the beautiful thing about Lucky is that we've got so many different little tentacles coming off the proverbial octopus itself. So the community itself is building. We've got something cooking in the works where we are going to be partnering with hopefully another company that's getting off the ground in terms of looking at a bridge. So hopefully, touch wood, there will be some sort of bridge that allows Lucky to be bridged with Sol. That's the ultimate plan. Don't obviously hold me to my word, but we are partnering with someone to look into doing that, and that will basically allow us to open up the floodgates when it comes to people accessing Lucky, because we know it's probably not as accessible on exchanges at the moment. Um, Obviously, continuing the partnership with Coinomi, that is a key for us. It's a long-term partnership. So we do want to obviously push the marketing out as much as we possibly can. We are chatting to some key KOLs behind the scenes. And from our perspective, it's all about jumping on as many AMAs as possible, particularly with their communities, to restore the trust that has, to be blatantly honest, has gone when it comes to that replay attack over 9 months ago. And we're doing a really good job in terms of restoring that trust. And like I said, it's good. Trust takes time, right? And as a community member who went through that, I know it's quite challenging, but I think that with the proceeds of AMAs, with these types of partnerships that we've got with you guys, that's going to be key. Um, we have consolidated a few different exchanges. So our core exchanges at the moment are Gate. It's a big exchange for us, particularly with the Chinese community, and we have some team members working with the Chinese community. Lucky and the Chinese community, it's just a perfect fit. So that is crucial for us. Second of all, we've also got CoinX. We've got MEX, which is a big one for us. And then we've also got non-KYC, but we have consolidated exchanges. So I know as many people want us to go and try and procure a Binance or try and procure an OKX, which is on our radar. And we do obviously have some connections there. It's not our priority at the moment. Our priority is to restore trust, to build an organic community, and to bounce back, and to have these types of partnerships which are meaningful. It's one thing to basically try and get on an exchange, but it's another thing to actually have the volume that sits there. And so from our perspective, we need that organic growth, and also to talk to key KOLs to basically start to identify the value proposition that Lucky has in this particular space. So there's quite a lot going on. And like I said, we don't want to put time parameters on it as well. Like we aren't like a pumpfund.com type of coin. Like we're here for the next decade, and we're going to be building for the next decade. And we encourage any community member that has a pertinent skill set, whether it's marketing, whether it's partnerships, whether it's exchange listings, or whether it's dev work, particularly with script wallets, to contact us, because we're always looking to broaden our horizons and see how we can integrate with other different opportunities that haven't been sought out. Cool. Hopefully that answers your question.
Oh, it did. And if I wasn't muted, I would have said how much it does, saying that we're
Okay, good.
broadening horizons, we're adding chains into the wallet, we're getting refamiliar with old friends and old teams that are starting to build again in this great building season. I want to take it to Michelle and kind of ask the next few seconds of what's coming up to Koinami. I mean, I know there's UI and UX plans, but what does that really mean for users, and what kind of assets are we going to be introducing?
Well, we're always listening to what the users want to see in their wallet next. So, make sure you're checking out our feature upvote. We can drop the link soon. We got lots of users voting for, their next features to be integrated into Koinomi. As Kobe mentioned, we're also working on a brand new UX UI for the community. Koinomi's from 2014, 11 years in the game. That's like 30 years in crypto dog years. And We're refreshing the UX UI. You'll see some kind of new onboarding screens, and we're slowly implementing it just to kind of give the app a new look and a new feel, and just to keep up with the trends and make it also a little bit easier for users to navigate, whether they're new to crypto or whether they're advanced. And we're also looking at a way to reward our users as well. So keep an eye out for Coinomi rewards coming out very, very soon, maybe this week. But in the
You know,
meantime, we also have a
yeah, I
giveaway
used
with
to.
LuckyCoin. It's pinned here in the chat, so or in the space. You guys can check that out as well. Off to you, Kobe.
I used to kind of hate when people said, "Oh, we might have alpha or we might have some new stuff coming up," but I think we really do with the giveaway that we're doing here and with a lot of changes that are coming to Koinami. Something really cool about working with this team for so long, and actually nearly a majority of my own life, is that we still work with a lot of the same founders that started this mission back in 2014 and keep a really good eye and hand over what we're introducing in the app. That means that we rarely have customers and clients and friends coming to us saying that this wallet doesn't feel like Koinami anymore, or this has changed in a big way, because we've kept the ethos of what we started to build back then 10, 11 years ago. And we've also kept a lot of the members who are coming back now from whatever they've been up to the past few years as we relaunch and revamp Koinami. We had a community question a few minutes ago talking about what's happened to Koinami the past few years, and if they have their funds, if a user has their funds in other apps, what can they do? Well, first, you can always be importing your Koinami recovery phrase that you had back then back into the wallet, or sending your funds directly into Koinami. And in my opinion, you should, for two reasons. Number one, you want to be alert and awake for this roller coaster we're about to take users on, going from a product that helps you just store your funds to a device and an ecosystem that really helps you get the most out of them. We love the other wallets that we've been building alongside of for the past 10 years who, got their start similar to us. How can we build a better service for users to keep their money safe? But we also realized that we need to differentiate ourselves. So when we met a few years ago and said, or a few, about a year ago, what can we do to revamp this product and rebuild something for the community? We knew that existing solutions for keeping your coins safe were out there, but we found what was really lacking was a solution, or some full solution of helping users do what they want to do, which is make more of their own assets value and get access to opportunities that they either didn't hear of, that they didn't have access to before, or that they need to be shown, because we're doing the hard work here of getting in touch with partners like Lucky and bringing it right to their door. So with that said, we're trying to build these partnerships with Lucky for that exact reason. And Lucky, Dan rather, I want to ask you, if a user is coming into the Lucky ecosystem right now, what kind of value will they be seeing over the next months? What kind of value will they be adding back? Will they be adding into their lives through this integration and through the work we're going to be doing together?
I mean, it's just peace of mind that we're able to store our lucky without it potentially being lost or losing your seed phrase, for instance. Like I said, the Google Chrome was a really good stopgap solution, but as the Lucky Coin community, and I can speak on behalf of the Lucky Coin community, we wanted a wallet that would be a self-custodial wallet, and we wanted something that would be simple, easy, and seamless. And we have that with Coinomi. And so, like, we're blessed to have that partnership. It's a long-term partnership. And now that we have that wallet locked away and that partnership locked away, we can focus on growing the community so that when more members come on board, more community members are actually participating and buying Lucky. They know that they can actually store it safely. And I really want everyone, and I encourage everyone to store their Lucky on the Coinomi wallet, and to leave that review. Like I said, the review is crucial because it actually lets us know that A, you're storing the Lucky on the Coinomi wallet, but B, you guys are doing such a great job, and we really want our community to pitch in to basically review and leave positive feedback so that you can start to onboard other coins as well.
So I want to ask from the other direction, because you just described someone coming from Lucky Coin storing their money at Koinami, or their assets rather.
Mhm.
What will they see if they're a Koinami member coming into Lucky? What will they kind of get a taste of value added into their lives by attending some of their attention to the project you're building and what you have coming up?
Well, I think from our perspective, it's community driven, right? And so if you feel like you want a place to belong, and you feel like you want to be in a Telegram group or you want to be in an X group that is very inclusive, that operates professionally, and that is willing to basically go above and beyond for the community, then Lucky Coin is pretty much the place to be. Anyone in the Telegram group or X comments, that say any nasty things, and I know this sounds very childish, right? But say nasty things, they'll basically get a warning. And if that's the case, then they'll be removed. Like, we are very professional, we're very ethical, and this speaks volumes to in real life jobs, because obviously this is a passion project for us. And like I said, we're just community members. And so if there is any sort of bad behavior, it's not tolerated. And so we're fully aware as a CTO and as a community as a whole, we have to operate as professionally as possible. So when we have Coinomi members that are members of, or users that are members and holders of other tokens, other coins that look at LuckyCoin, it's a place to feel a sense of belonging and a sense of community and a sense to strive for this inclusive vision of restoring and maintaining this amazing gem in crypto history. Hope that answered your
Beautiful.
question in a roundabout way, Kobe.
It absolutely did. I mean, I was already texting you before the space that we're trying to make some good clips for both of us here that we can send out to the community that in a few seconds kind of lets people know why use Coinami, why get involved with Lucky Coin. And I think from what you just described, there's many, many reasons why they should get into the game and why they should pick back up their phones and start to learn more about what we're both building. I'm going to bring back one of our builders, Michelle. I think you said there's a community question from someone or maybe from our own team. What do we got? Load it up.
Yeah, we have a community question here from Barb. She is asking, what's one thing you wish more people knew about Lucky Coin?
Really good question. Thanks, Michelle, and thanks, Kobe. One thing, I think the scarcity of Lucky, it's one of the most scarce assets, not only as a meme coin, but as a crypto in general. It's scarcer than Bitcoin. When you think about the fact that you've got all these dormant wallets that are lying around, I think it's roughly 3.1, 3.2 million Lucky that is dormant and likely never to come back, by the way, because they're on old exchanges that are just gone and they don't have their access to their C phrases. And then the replay attack that wipes out another 2.3 that are being blacklisted. So it's less than 15 million coins that are actually in existence right now, or that will ever be in existence. So that's something that I really want to ram home. And to toggle back to obviously the halving aspect of things, the next halving is on the 6th of July. So that is coming around very, very shortly. And so that's roughly, if I look at my stats here, that will enter the sixth epoch. So we go from 5.5 lucky as a block reward all the way down to 2.75. When you looked at the first epoch, and I know I'm throwing some stats out there for you, but the first epoch for mining was about 88. So there's less and less lucky that are coming onto the market. So I can't really begin to tell people that if people start holding lucky, there's less and less coming onto the market, and there's more and more demand that comes. Usually, like this is a good thing for us. So yeah, I think do your own research. Again, not financial advice, but it's a very scarce asset. That's the way we see it as a community, and we really want to impress that upon people. And
I
yeah,
want to talk more about the scarcity and what people might not know about its relation again to Bitcoin. But before we get there, Michelle, is there something about Coinami that people don't know or will find out soon once they download and become a user of our and a member of our community? If you're talking, you might be muted. There you go.
You know what? Koinomi is really versatile in the fact that it's great for both first time, crypto users buying their first Bitcoins or Satoshis, and it's also great for more advanced users. I mean, our community is a lot of OG Bitcoiners, and there's a lot of advanced features that Koinomi offers, and you can actually read a lot more about that in all the great support articles that we have. For example, you can help me out here, Kobe. What
Oh
what,
yeah, I
what
was
can we
gonna
do
say.
with
So
Koinomi?
I think you hit on something really important there, and I know why Michelle got caught up a little bit. It's because we were joking earlier about the origins of stack Sats, which is something we say a lot in the team, and that kind of references the DCA or buying more and more of Bitcoin, not in just thinking about its value of one Bitcoin, but in its smallest unit that can really be used, which is a Satoshi, named of course after Satoshi Nakamoto, who is the creator of Bitcoin or the creators of Bitcoin, which is kind of an incredible mystery that just goes back for years and years now of how did Bitcoin get its origin? Clearly to solve problems, clearly to be some kind of model or replacement for the financial system before it. And I think that we see now more than ever, regular financial markets look more like crypto than the other way around. I mean, we all thought that crypto would get more stable and similar to the traditional finance. The other thing has happened that we have meme stocks now, like GameStop. I mean, that's why even though it's funny, these new blockchains that are coming up now or have been around for a while are really doing something important, and we're starting to bridge between traditional finance and old. But again, what you might have got hold up on was talking about Satoshis and just how Koinami is available for people just starting their journey. Koinami is also available for people that have been using Bitcoin or crypto for years and years and are well versed in the coins that we're bringing back online very shortly, like Monero and others. So we really try to take a direct approach to reach out to users when they install the app and say, if you're starting for the first time, we're going to help you and hold your hand where we can. And if you're someone returning after finding their Bitcoin keys and remembering the work you did from 2018, you have a fully functional app where you can even set your own servers that you're connecting through RPC nodes. I mean, there's so many hidden features. And again, check those support articles because they run deep, because we've been at this for a long time. We've got some pros here that want to make a product that's best for people getting started today and really great for people that have been here for 10 years and will be here for another 10. So let's take it back for one more thing before we answer a community question and start really, really incredible supply in that a lot of it's kind of, I wouldn't say burned, but that's a good way to put it. Instead of going to the market and seeing 10 watermelons each for $10 and $100 of value, if there's only three watermelons, well, people are going to pay a lot more for them. I guess I got lost up in a weird watermelon math question analysis, and none of us know how many apples Kara has. But the point of what I'm saying is that even Bitcoin itself, we know how many are mined, but we think that there's maybe 3 to 4 million that have been lost forever. That's 17 to 20%. And I can quote Chain Analysis and Cointelegraph on this. That's 3 to 4 million Bitcoin lost forever. So circulating supply of Bitcoin drops from 19.6 million down to something like 15.9. If you were to adjust the market cap, which is just an equation of how many coins are there and that value times the value of those coins, I mean, you go from right now, you go to an adjusted market cap of like almost $2 trillion. So Bitcoin is really something that, again, relates back to Lucky Coin and your own philosophy. And with that ranting about watermelons, I think I want to get back to one more community question that Michelle will raise. Michelle, can you read that out? Make sure to unmute. There you go.
Okay, let me just pull it up here. So we have a question from Tempest. Said Billy Marcus mentioned that Lucky Coin's code formed the direct basis for Dogecoin. How did this code base influence Dogecoin's development?
I'll let Dan take it.
Yeah, no, thank you. Very, very good question. As I mentioned, yeah, Billy Marcus, this is all on the Bitcoin talk forum, and we've got screenshots of it all. He basically did mention that Lucky Coin's code actually did form the basis for Dogecoin. There used to be a little error message that would pop up early on when you were trying to store and access your Dogecoin that basically had Lucky Coin in there. And again, we've got that all on our website to verify it as a screenshot. So it's kind of a cool little piece. But as I mentioned, Doge was actually forked directly from Lucky Coin. Roughly, and it's a direct fork from Litecoin, and Bell's Coin also sat in there as well. But one of the most defining features that Lucky Coin inherited was that randomized block reward system. So I mentioned you got the 2 times, you got the 5 times, you got the 58 times, and miners were able to receive that variable reward per block. It's almost like a slot machine, which is kind of cool, right? Because there's that whole mimetic aspect that it's all that fun, fairness, that kind of that ethos that Lucky C meant to really invigorate Lucky in general. And that mimetic actually mechanic brought a lot of fun and chaos and chaotic energy that fit perfectly with Dogecoin's meme-driven culture. And it actually made early mining feel quite lighthearted and community first, rather than just maximizing all the profits, right? So that was one of Dogecoin's original ethos, is just fun. That's kind of like one of the original memes. But as Dogecoin started to rapidly gain popularity, the market value, increase and increase and increase, and Elon Musk picked it up and started tweeting about it. That random reward system started creating like real problems, and the large mining pools actually began exploiting it by selectively mining during periods where these higher rewards, which were more likely, throwing off the fairness of the block production and increasing centralization. And so to address that, Dogecoin actually switched to a fixed block reward of about 10,000 Doge in 2014. Correct me if I'm wrong. And this stabilized the network and made mining more predictable and fair for everyone, especially obviously those smaller and solo miners. So the big question is, if the random rewards became such a problem for Dogecoin, why hasn't LuckyCoin faced like the same issues, right? Especially now that its hash rate is reportedly like it's up there with Doge's. If you look at a lot of the mining pools, it's quite high. And so we're actually merge mine with Litecoin, and that's the kind of the long answer to the question. So it was roughly when the new CTO the old CTO took on board Lucky. They approached Binance merge mining. Given it's a script coin, Litecoin's a script coin, Lucky Coin's a script coin. You can merge mine, which basically means you can mine with Litecoin and other script coins. And not really require any additional energy, not really require any additional costs, and it actually stabilizes the LuckyCoin chain. So we're very fortunate to be involved in Binance's merge mining, along with other merge mining pools, and that basically allows us that high hash rate actually strengthens the chain, which is a real positive for us. So I know I kind of rambled an incoherent matter, but basically,
No. It's bring it back to coherence. Do it.
cool. Merge
Finish it off.
mining, Binance merge mining, LuckyCoin is part of that, and that actually stabilizes the chain. So we're very lucky.
Dan
Literally.
from LuckyCoin, you have painted and kind of put together a compelling case for why people should get involved with LuckyCoin. You've even said why they should install and store it in their Coinomi wallet. And Michelle, you've backed that LuckyCoin is on a good path in what they're doing in marketing because they're staying authentic and they're staying transparent and true to not only what their team is doing, but what their community wants. And this is, I guess, one of my first spaces that I've been able to try to slow down my talking, but I appreciate the people who have been here so far. I don't know if it's because I've made a few bad jokes along the way.
You're good, man.
I
It
I
was
kept
very
mine
natural.
inside when Billy Marcus was asking a question because Mark us, they hardly know us, but I guess I had to let it out. What I want to say is that if you're here for me and my bad jokes, that's amazing. But if you're here for the giveaway, I think that's even better. And I want everyone to be able to get involved and have a fair shot at winning something. The rules are very simple. You got to be following Koinami. You got to be following Lucky Coin. If you want to follow me, follow Michelle. I'd advise it, but she, her tweets a lot of alpha. So I don't know if you get in the investing club, but follow both of our accounts. Make sure you have Koinami on your device and keep it on there. And leave a 5-star review or any star review. But I hope it's up in the 4 or 5 range, or just DM us. But once you have reviewed Koinami, again, follow us. Download Koinami, leave a review, send it through our DMs, and you're going to be entered to win some very cool Koinami and Lucky Coin merch. We're getting to the end here, folks. I want to thank Michelle for joining in and taking some of her time out of doing all the marketing guru things she does in a day. And I want to thank Dan from Lucky Coin for coming and depicting such a good cause as to why everyone should get involved in the community. Once again, I'm Koby from Koinami, and I'm going to let everyone round out the call here. But all I can say is that we have had a committed mission at Koinami of making a great place for you to store your coins, digital assets, and more safely. We're going to be here for the next 10 years because we just did the past decade along your side, and we're about to ship some incredible technology right into your wallet and into your pocket. Michelle, any last words from the side of Koinami before Dan makes one last plea as to why everyone should get in early and not feel left out with the Lucky Coin train that's about to come?
Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in today. And make sure you check out our $500 giveaway running with Lucky as well. So if you don't have any Lucky, that's a good chance to get some in your Coinomi wallet. And yeah, just make sure you drop us a follow. Helps more than you think. Leave us a review and make sure you check out Lucky Coin.
Dan, last words.
Thanks, Kobe. I think I'm always going to remember this space by you talking about scarcity with watermelons. That was a really good joke. And more importantly, I think also that if this is your first space, you've done a really good job. Yeah, last words. We're very appreciative of the Koinomi partnership. Please leave reviews. Please jump on and use Koinomi as the wallet for the preferred wallet for Lucky. And we're building a brighter future. And we wish you all a lucky day.
Thank you so much. Everyone, take care, follow, and stay for the next space we have lined up, and we'll see you in the future. Cheers, everyone. Take care.